Alright, hello everyone. So let's take a look at what we've got today now. Today's the 17th, it's Monday. So I've already posted the swing days and the hours for today on Saturday. So it's been up for 2 days. I also messaged that out on Twitter. Now the important thing we need to first look at is the news. Right here. So as you can see, we don't have anything on Monday. Then we've got Tuesday, Wednesday is a holiday. This is good to know. It's a holiday in the US. And then on Thursday, we've got interest rate news from Switzerland, the UK. This is for those who trade the franc or the pound or European or UK indices. Initial jobless claims. So these are going to be important. And Friday. Okay, so that's going to come out. It's going to be important. And obviously this one too. All right, so keep these in mind and let's take a look. Now this is how it is now. If you traded on Friday up, you should have been just fine. I gave those levels in as well. It's a new week, so let's take a look at the new week, but let's first start off with the monthly. Now as you can see, the monthly has been kind of like bouncing off from that 2,450 zone, and we might have room to pop down into this 66, which is 2,248. All right, but let's see where we're at now. On the weekly, we've got a breakout, and last week I did mention this could be at a runner, and if that's the case, as you can see, this is like kind of channeling upwards. This could be a fake breakout, so we have to be careful. Let me get rid of this. If we dip down into 58, 57, that's a buy level this week. On the daily, this is a buy level, which is all the way down at 41, which is 2,293 and at 95. So 2,293. And 95. So as you can see, the weekly ones are up, the daily ones a little lower. Okay, so those are the weekly levels. This is the daily level here. So don't do anything at least until, I would suspect, at least until the 9 o'clock period. Okay, and I just turn this on here. Okay, so I wouldn't really do anything until 9 o'clock if you're gonna do something. So yeah, until the period until 9 to 9:40 is the first place to wait for. This is the time right now is 5:40 a.m. my time. This will probably come down. This has got room to come down until at least 8 o'clock. And if the market is thinking of any retracement or buy, it should be around there. Now, if we come into that 2,309, 2,300 zones, they're good to buy at Astro Hours, equally to 2,295 and 2,293 on the daily. But because big fish eat little fish, if we have a breakdown on the weekly, right? If the weekly breaks down, then obviously the market can push down. All right, so we have to be careful with that one. On the daily, you can see we're like going down, sideways down. So that could be sideways again and then down. I don't mind buying at a support on the weekly to push up. But as you can see, we've got like sales coming in. All right, so we have to be a bit careful on that one. If the market comes down, like I said, to the Astro Hours down here, it's going up, it's okay. If the market sweeps upwards on let's see, because on the daily we've got, let me just turn this up a little bit. If you're using your PST, your first target is going to be the LCL1, which is 2,344. So we've got to put that up there for a target. 2,344, which should give us enough to sweep. Okay, so we have to be careful here because Monday is a swing day, remember, so that could be a high or a low of the week, okay, which can then push us forward. You also have to look out for Thursday, okay, this week, because that's the time when we might see some levels which are like high or low. Okay, all right, and that's basically it. Okay, so this is quite bullish, as you can see on the daily. So if the market does pull back to weekly PST levels, that's fine. The other target is on the daily, if it keeps pushing up, is 2,357. So we've got 55 and 57 as a target. So let's put 2,355 up here as well, which you can follow up to. The other one is, if it keeps pushing up, is all the way up there. It's at 57. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, but I'll still put it in 2,373. We'll put it in there, which is there. On the weekly, if the market does keep pushing up, we've got 65 going all the way into 2,394, 2,400. All right, so that will be that zone there. Okay, that's basically how it is. Now, if it breaks below the weekly and the daily, obviously, then what's going to happen is we're going to push down. So on any intraday pull back up, you want to be selling off, okay, including your good buy kisses on the PST daily or the weekly. And that could take us down to 2,250.44, which is also logical. On the monthly here, because there's been sell-offs, okay, but the market's still closing higher, it's an upwards trend. So, be a bit smart. We'll have to be careful, and we're going to have to trade exactly on, time and price. Let's take a look at the euro dollar. Now, on the monthly euro dollar, as you know, this is where we're at. And our scenario in any case. We'd like to see the market coming down into this zone a bit lower so we can kind of like push it down. I'm just going to get rid of that. This is done, so we don't need the confusion. We can also get rid of, no, I'm going to keep that. Okay, I'm going to keep that. You can see those are parallel, so that's relevant for us. If I actually do another one which is parallel to this, okay, if I just estimate some kind of a parallel structure there, okay, which is fine. So coming down into this zone is what we want, and then we're looking to buy in order to push up on the euro dollar. Okay, and then that should take us pretty much like into this zone. Okay, but this is the monthly, so that's going to be a while. Okay, as you can see, we've got a breakdown here, and as you can see, I drew these lines, so they were like targets off, and that's right on the PST last week, as you can see. So do I have room to come down? Yeah, I certainly do. HCL1 1.0571. And that's down there. On the daily, how am I going to work with that? If the market comes up into 0729, let's check that out. 1.07. Let me just refresh this. 0729 is there. All right, so if we go up to there, or the weekly pivot, do we want to sell again? Yes, we do. All right, because the market's obviously trending down, so the retracement is going to give us an action. Okay, so on the weekly, selling further down is the way to go. I'm going to get rid of this, I'm going to get rid of that. The reason they bought here, as you can see, that's the goodbye kiss there, but we've got a still channel coming down here. Lower lows, okay, lower highs, so any push up would like to sell into it. Now the swing day for this is not Monday, so you might need to wait. On the PST we've got 44, which is 1.0760, which is on the daily, and that's over here. So having, the market might go slightly higher. 0760 is there, which is actually okay, because that's a manipulation bar over here on the 15-minute chart, as you can see. Alright, so if the market does come up into this zone, you can also sell here. There's just a slight gap which the market might kind of like fill in. If it goes up and comes back in quickly and you got Astro hours here, then you can sell it off. Okay. In the interim though, as you can see, got room to push down. Your first support is 33.0680. So if the market does come to 1.0680, which is right there, okay, this will be the first level you'll be looking at. Okay, now the low of the week, low of previous week was down here, low of previous day was here. So if the market does come and sweep here, it's also doable. On the weekly, like I said, we've got room to come down, so you got to be a bit careful here because it's the middle of the channel. Right, remember, if you took technical analysis from me, this is going to be a little chop. Alright, so be mindful in that zone. What could you do? Like I said, you can wait for the market to pull up and then sell it off. Okay, and in the middle of nowhere, don't muck around with it. SP 500, also you can just wait for the swing days. Okay, so this is SP 500, as you can see. Now last week I did say we also have like a runner situation here, so going up was logical. That's the target zone there. Let's take a look at the monthly. Now as you can see with the monthly, the target is 70 there, 5496. So 5496 is there. Just going to put that 5496 there. Alright. On the weekly, LCL1 5549. 5549. Let's just bring this down. Okay, good. 5549. It's a bit out there, but we'll put it in there anyway, in any case. And we'll get rid of this, just so that we got targets ahead, which are good to have. Okay. Now last week, as you know, Astro Hour was here on the Friday, so it moved up nicely here. On the weekly, so we still might have a bit of room to go, as you can see, to touch that level. So be careful for that zone there, which is our 5,500 zone. On the daily, the resistance is 77, 5,453. 5,453 is there. Alright, so this is the place where the market can go up, sweep, and then pull down, or going to come down by breakout. Okay. In any case, let's take a look at the support levels on the daily. Now the daily support is 67, which is 5,410, which is there. Alright, so 5,410. So anywhere from the weekly to that PST level and any stop sweep is okay. Now SP 500, you have to take care this week, simply because we've got a few days for this. So it's like last week, you just need to be careful on this one. Okay, so buying the lows, selling the highs is still an option. And like I said, on the weekly, we still have a bit of room to push up. So if that does happen, it's fine. Okay, and then if we want to come back, as you can see, that's far out, it's a bit lower, so going there is a bit of a time consumer. So we haven't seen any sign of reversal yet, but this is going to be a resistance level. So if it breaks as well, it's going to be a psychological barrier at 5,500. Okay, so people will want to take profit there. They probably will want to see that. The monthly support is 64. If they sell, that's 5,190, and that's just far down. Okay, 5,190 is just, as you can see, all the way down there. I don't think we even need to put these because they're on the monthly. Okay, and we're not seeing any sign of a reversal yet. So buying the lows at Astro Hours is not a bad idea. To keep pushing down, to keep pushing up, but just be mindful, like I said, on that monthly 5,000, 5,450, 5,500, they're going to be like, levels we want to look out for. All right, so you've got 1, 2, 3 levels there. Where the market can do a sell-off. So if you're going to buy low. Let's take a look at Dow Jones. Now with the Dow Jones, once again, the swing days are ahead of us. So let's see. Now on the monthly, as you can see, we're right on the border there. That looks like a breakout there. Okay, so selling might not be a bad idea if this breaks. That's a 59. 38 411, 38 411. So if this thing breaks, okay, below here, below the low of last week, let's say, okay, and does, stay around here, it keeps these low levels, then, from here going up is an option. All right, so be careful with that one. The other thing is, if it breaks out, obviously we're going to go higher. If you want to sell this, goodbye kiss at 45. On the daily, 38,670. 38,670 is just above the weekly. So this weekly level is not a bad place to sell if the market comes up today. On the PST, 30, yeah, that's like a good spot, and you can push it down into 33, 38,291, and that could be a target, 38,291. That'll be your first target. Okay, 38,291 there. Okay, so selling there to push there is okay. From here, let's see what the weekly is. 49, and that's a target of 38,315. 38,315 is also here. So this zone's actually not a bad buy spot. It's the daily first target, and it's the weekly support level. So if this thing breaks, we'll have room to come down, but this is a good place for the market to test. So if it like kind of goes up and comes down, it's like selling into here looks legitimate to me. And on the monthly, like I said, if it breaks down below that 59 level, then your weekly daily level here is your next step. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Okay, let's take a look at the monthly. Big push up, which is what we were expecting. We got a breakout on the monthly, so this can keep pushing up, which is fine. So you can be bullish on this one. On the weekly, we still have targets to go. So note that level LCL1, which is 20,215. On the daily, if we come back, where to come back to? All right, technically we can come back into here. Okay, so if the market comes back onto that line here, it's like 19,333. not a bad place to get back in. 19,520 is also okay. All right, so if we get back into 19,520 is there, and 70 is there. So 19,520, 19,520 is here, and also 491, which is pretty much here. So this zone is okay to also the weekly pivot, definitely. So if we come back into the weekly pivot, I'd say, you know, buying again is the option. Okay, so if we pull back, I'd be a buyer because the market has like extended the range. So the pull back is not a bad idea to get back in the game. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. So Nasdaq is pretty bullish, and I guess it will stay that way. Now on the monthly, as you can see, we've got this breakout. So coming down, you know, following this down is not a bad idea actually. Okay, so what can we do? Let's see. On the weekly, we can push down. If you're using your PST, you got room to come down into here. Okay, so let's put this into here and this into here. Alright, so we've got a bit more room to come down on the Bitcoin. Okay, now this is the daily. The resistance on the daily is 44. It's already done, 66861. If you're using your PST, 66861, which is just about here. You can see the market's already done that, which is fine. So that's your PST level on the daily. Resistance done. The support is 34. You can see, look, we've got an impulse wave sideways, impulse wave sideways. So the market may keep pushing down. Okay, as you can see, we've got room to come down. Okay, so going lower is not a bad option. 64,817. 64,817 is here. All right. So the market can push down and then go up as well. On the daily, that's how it is. Weekly, 59. On the weekly, 59 is going to be, let me just see the price for that one, 65,509. $65,509. You know, just around here somewhere. Okay, so the market has got a bit of room for retracement and pushing down. You know, selling the highs is not a bad idea. The weekly, that level there, I think is okay. And if that daily breaks, that 65,393 breaks, and this 64,817 price breaks, this has got room to come down. I suspect it should come down. On the bigger time frame, as you can see, we're like pushing downwards. We've got room to come down. On the monthly as well, as you can see, there's room to come down all the way into the first target, which is 60,216. Okay, so that looks logical as well.